There is a new fashion trend blowing up online right now that we think Wall Street might have missed. It's a fashion accessory. It's a whole revamped line for a company that hasn't been making a lot of headlines lately, but they do have earnings coming up next week. Google Trends, their chart off the chart, all-time high. Their products, they're trending on Insta, on TikTok. Their comments are saying that the company is making a comeback and that people are all obsessed with the product, all caps obsessed. I even saw it on the Today Show, so you know it has hit the mainstream, but has it hit Wall Street? Today on Dumb Money, Chris is going to reveal why he thinks shoppers are going to send this stock. We are Dumb Money.
Three friends who turned $30,000 into $30 million using nothing more than Twitter and a zero commission trading account.
The suits that work on Wall Street, they call those people the smart money. That's not us.
Our goal is to help level the playing field for everyday investors.
We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to Dumb Money Live. I am in Bar Harbor, Maine right now on vacation. Chris and Jordan joining from their familiar home studios. Before we jump in on today's stock, I do need to ask you all to jump in on that like button, smash it, destroy it, turn the thumb blue for the YouTube algorithm. Chris, Jordan, it is so good to see you both again. And I know Chris has been out doing channel checks for this one. Can you tell us what is the company, what is the stock, and why do you think it's about to blow up?
Yes, but before I tell you, I want to say that right after we tell you why I made this investment, we are then going to tell you 5 reasons why this trade could go bad. And I think that's really important. We always say, hey, we're not financial advisors. We don't know your risk tolerance. Please don't copy this trade because we want you to do your own homework and make your own decisions. And more importantly, get on our Discord, dumbmoney.tv/Discord, and discuss, debate, poke holes in our thesis. But this time I'm going to go ahead and just give you 5 good reasons why you should consider not making this trade. And in fact, I wanted to invest $6 million in this trade purely based on the thesis, if not for these risk factors that I think are meaningful, and meaningful enough that I'm debating whether I would consider this a medium or a high conviction trade. I think it probably sits somewhere between the two. So please hold on for that. So that's coming this episode. So we will talk about this. Dave, rather than, you know what I love about this? It's a TikTok trend, right? So again, I am living on TikTok these days. Let me just say something about TikTok. Back in the day when we used to do social arb on Twitter, people don't realize this because Twitter is such like a political and news social media site now. But back in the day, like 2014, people would express their true emotions on Twitter. They would talk about what they were buying. They were talking about what was exciting them in life, like what they were doing every day. Twitter was this amazing place, and over the past 7 years, it's turned into a place where it's just, people talking about news or politics, or you have investment Twitter, FinTwit, you have different areas, but it's just not a place where you really share what you're doing every moment of the day. And it's not it's just different, right? TikTok, on the other hand, is a place where people truly share their consumer habits and the way they feel about brands and products and experiences. And I am just like, I can't even believe this happened because I had been missing that for so long. And most of what I've done this week was read TikTok comments. TikTok comments are becoming my new #1 source for social arb discovery and research. Not necessarily what's trending.
Are you making TikToks as you find something that you find trending, you find a social arb opportunity? Are you just going to turn that camera on and start making a TikTok? You should.
Dave, so I've been talking about this forever, and when I saw your TikTok account pop up on vacation, #1, I was so proud of you. Like, I swear, like, so many times, like, we talk about stuff, and then I go out and do it. And I know you and Jordan are like, oh, I should have done that. Like, when it comes to anything media or creator, we talk about stuff, and then you go out and just kill it and do it. I'm so proud of your TikTok account. Guys, if you're not following Dave on TikTok, he just launched his TikTok account,
I just started,
2 weeks ago?
And I've already gone viral. I have a video that already has 250,000 views, I have only 5,800 followers, but I have 42,000 likes. You should go follow me on TikTok. I'm
I'll
at
follow.
Hey There Dave here.
Yeah, I'll follow. I finally
Oh,
got a
man.
TikTok account, guys. I did it like last week.
Speaking of, that's awesome. About time, Jordan. Speaking of TikTok, I also think everybody should go watch 25 Days. It's a show that we are kind of, behind. We're backing the show. It's two great creators, Jack and Tejas, and we're so proud of them. It's a show about creators. And I tweeted last night that if you want to be a great social arb trader or a great investor, there is no way that you can do that unless you can get inside the mind of creators, because content creators are the new media. And so if you don't understand how they think and how they communicate and how they go about supporting or not supporting trends and brands and kind of just consumer behavioral change, then you're just like looking at it from the outside, not from the inside. So this show, 25 Months, is a way to really understand the mindset of the creator. You can check it out. It's on YouTube, actually. It's a YouTube show. Highly recommend that as well. And Dave's TikTok account. And someday my TikTok Dave, I gotta do it. I just gotta do it. I gotta do it.
You have to do it.
I know. I'm
You're
intimidated.
so behind. You even started, didn't you? Or you filmed a bunch that you didn't even.
No, I wrote ideas
online.
down for. No, I just wrote ideas for TikToks, and I didn't even film them. I know I need to, and I will. But okay, so getting back to so Dave's TikTok, watch it. Hey There Dave here. It's killer. The trade. Everyone wants to know about this trade, right? So
Yes.
This trade is a brand that was really big, quite honestly, in the 90s. And then again, it got big in the mid 2000s. And it kind of fell flat after that. I would say for the last decade, the brand has just kind of been flat. And all of a sudden, back in, I'm going to say, January, February, well, they've been planning this revamp for a while. They got a new head designer at the brand, and they were like, we're going to rebuild the entire brand to be youthful and to be cutting edge and to be cool again. And you're like, well, that's interesting. You really haven't been cool in a long time. And even when you were cool, you were never really that cool. You were just kind of the de facto brand for a certain type of thing. So I didn't believe them, quite honestly. I just kind of ignored it. And I kind of, at one point, I was like, I need to keep an eye on this one. And I'm really disappointed in myself because I lost track of it. And if you were paying attention to TikTok and just consumer behavior in general, you would have identified this, surfaced it in February or March of this year, and I did not. Actually, when I just rediscovered it this last week, which is really late, except for most of the investment community hasn't really paid much attention to the success of the comeback of this brand. But there was one person in our Discord community that after the fact, I went and checked to see if anyone in Discord had picked up on this. And I just did a search for this brand in our Discord. And sure enough, guys, I don't know if I sent it to you or not, but I found a girl in our Discord who her name is this her? I think, is it? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna try to find her name in our Discord. She did find it, and I'm really proud of her, but no one really paid attention to her. Like, she talked about it in our Discord, and then no one really paid attention. Gosh, so before the end of this episode, I did take a photograph of it from our Discord, and I will find it, and I'll give her credit where credit is due. And if someone finds it for us and wants to put it in the chat notes, that would be awesome. So what is the brand, guys? Do you want to show, Dave, were you able to get the video going? Can we reveal it that way?
I have the ability to show. Now, I don't know which of the 17 links you sent me you're talking about now.
I think
The best one was that first one that you were playing, I think, the one that you were playing pre-show before Chris came on.
Okay, well, that was back when we had internet working.
Yeah.
So, was it Andy unboxing?
Oh, by the way, I found the Discord note, It's by a user. Her name is Sham, Sham. So Sham, you killed it, man. I mean, unless I'm missing someone else that noticed this. She first talked about it on May 13th of this year. She said, not sure it would be considered. All right, let's just. Oh, we can. If we can show the video, let's show, because it's kind of a fun way.
The video's got to be the thing.
No, not the Gap, guys. I'm seeing people in the Gap. I traded the. We talked about the Gap at what was it, $11 a share, and I went in on the Gap. It's been a killer trade. That was on the Kanye announcement, and yes, the Gap has been in. Howard Lindzen was on the show that day. Remember when we talked about the Gap? And dude, that has been a killer trade. But it's not the Gap, guys. Not the Gap.
The Gap.
Not Vera Bradley either.
Okay.
Not Skechers. Not Victoria's Secret. I'm just going through the notes here.
By the way, while we're burning time, underrated comments. Somebody told us that you look like Will Arnett, and that will now never leave my mind.
Who looks like me?
You.
Will Arnett. Let's see. I don't even know what Will Arnett looks like.
I'm like, it is uncanny. You are like the same person.
What? I mean, he's a good-looking guy. I wouldn't mind looking like him, but I don't think. It's the big forehead, maybe. Is it the big forehead? I feel like he has.
Okay, I've got the video, and hopefully you'll be able to.
So I wasn't about to drop a couple $100 on a bag that would clash with all my jewelry. Anyway, they came out with the Tabby 18, just a small one. So I'm so excited. And it came in a silver hardware. Ready? Okay, beautiful packaging. Oh my god. Look how cute she is. Okay, we got it all together. So here she is, you guys. Look, I'm obsessed. It's so like squishy. It has like the massive magnet, which is awesome. Seems like a decent amount of room, and it's got the silver hardware, which was really important to me. I love how Coach is in again. And you guys, I bought the Pillow Coach Tabby. Let's open her up.
So there you go.
The Coach comeback. The Coach. I just sent you another video, Dave. I think it's so great. But like the Coach comeback is actually a hashtag on TikTok. And how great is that? The Coach comeback, man. I absolutely love that, guys. Coach. So in high school, Dave, I don't know if you were with me in high school when I was doing this, but remember we used to have the little Coach leather, the super thin little Coach
super
wallets?
thin wallet. Yeah, it's basically I have not had a thick wallet ever since those Coach small wallets.
Yeah.
They weathered so nicely. They were leather. I've gotten even thinner and smaller now. I have a different brand that I use, but that really did start the minimalism in wallet design.
They did. They were kind of groundbreaking back in the 90s for the thin wallet movement. But listen, Coach has an amazing history. They're all about great leather products at a relatively reasonable price. Dude, this Coach comeback started trending on TikTok, not necessarily as the Coach comeback, but these bags. What did she call it, Dave? That's the marquee bag there. The what's it called? The puffy
the pillow puff.
Yeah, the Pillow Tabby. The Pillow Tabby was their breakthrough bag this spring. It's kind of like the material is kind of like puffy, pillowy. This bag came out in the spring, and it started just like any other bag, a little slow. And this is from store interviews, so I really want to understand exactly how this happened. So I've been out all week interviewing store manager after store manager of Coach and Coach outlets, okay? And this bag was a little slow at first, but then it went viral on TikTok. And the second it went viral on TikTok, it completely exploded and sold out at every single Coach in the world, probably in the country. And what
here is that second.
Okay.
video that you sent me.
Definitely
This is
buying
it looks more like
she's remaining true to her heritage. How honorable. I mean, this is like signature Coach. And that's what's exciting. It is Coach. They're not trying to be somebody else. They're providing leather goods at a decent price with good quality. Overall, this comeback is super commendable. I'm excited to see what's next for the brand, and I really want this in a baby blue. Here's my opinion on the Coach comeback. I mean, Coach made no...
So this is the thing, and I just want to say... He's cutting out. So I just want to say something right now. Social arb ladies. Ladies of social arb. I don't know what they call themselves. the ladies of social arb. Besides Sham, thank you so much for trying to raise awareness around the Coach comeback in our Discord. Where are you? Where is Robin Hood Kid? Where are you guys on this? They should have been all over this, man. They should have been beating us down, going, guys, you got to get on this one. Like, I'm so upset that I didn't see this a little bit earlier. But this Coach comeback is very real. I've been interviewing store managers all week. I've been reading thousands, maybe tens of thousands of TikTok comments. And the only way to really get a feel for consumer sentiment, okay, the only way to do it is to actually read thousands and thousands of comments. It's the only way you're really going to understand and get a representative sample set. And I want to read you guys something right now because this is so powerful. It's so impactful. This is the I pulled a photograph, and I think I'll send this to you. This photograph to you, Dave, if you're able to put it up. I'm going to read it. This is really representative of what I've been reading all week. So this is just on a random TikTok video about Coach. Coach def hired some new people because their stuff got a major glow up. Next comment. Coach is coming out with some fire. Next comment. It's the cutest thing. They did so good with this new revamp. Okay? Next comment. Yes, Black Luxury TikTok here for this. So, guys, that's super representative. The world of millennial and Gen Z shoppers are well aware that this is a comeback attempt by Coach, and they are basically saying, yeah, they killed it. They completely crushed it. And they love it. Do you know why they love it? Because our other pick in fashion, Louis Vuitton, it has gotten so expensive and so unapproachable and so aspirational. But the reality is that very few people at scale can actually afford that stuff. So even though they're selling almost everything they can manufacture, the rest of the world wants something equally exciting, equally beautiful, that makes them feel that same way. Something that they could actually afford. And Coach has become this affordable, aspirational brand just in the last few months. Unlike Michael Kors, which is a brand that I can't believe it took this long, but over the past 10 years, the brand is finally starting to completely fall apart in terms of its reputation. And a lot of what you'll see if you look at comments on Michael Kors hashtags on TikTok, which is what I did, is the exact opposite of what you see with Coach. People are doing nothing but making fun of it. They're literally doing just ripping and ripping on Michael Kors for being this horrific brand. So it's so amazing that we not only have a brand that has a comeback, that is trending, that is super hot, but their direct competitor at the same time is completely falling apart. By the way, we're going to get into the fundamentals. We're going to get into
we haven't even talked about this. Some of the downsides. You say you have a list of 5 downsides of this stock. I'm not making this investment, and I can tell you why. But
okay, before you tell us why, let me put out the bull case.
We haven't talked about. You can't just go buy Coach stock, right? You can't, because they are a part of a group of companies known as Tapestry. Yeah. Yeah. And the other brands inside of this holding company, Coach, which is, I get it. They're on fire. This bag is hot. They've had a complete revamp of their line. Everybody loves it. But their other, Kate Spade, not doing so well. Stuart
What do you mean? They're doing great.
Not doing so
Kate
well.
Spade is great.
Yeah. Kate Spade's doing great.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
not what I found.
It's a fat. So let me say this. Okay, so 72% roughly is Coach, and the other 28% is split between Kate Spade and oh my gosh, the shoe brand.
Weitzman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What?
Stuart Weitzman.
Stuart Weitzman, right? So here's the thing. Kate Spade is actually the fastest growing division in the company. What's interesting about this company, Tapestry, is that a lot of their growth is coming out of China. So Kate Spade here in the US, I think I might kind of agree with Dave, is not like as exciting as what's happening at Coach this year, but the Kate Spade growth is coming out of China, where it is doing exceptionally well, as is Stuart Weitzman, which again, Stuart Weitzman here in the U.S., not that exciting this year, especially with the pandemic and people not really needing that right this second. But in China, it's doing exceptionally
I was
well.
reading that like something like almost a third of their stores are in China right now, and so
Yep.
I mean they're really gearing up over there.
Yes, they are. That's where all the growth. So if you want to say like, why is this stock up? Is this stock up because of the Coach comeback? And that's the really interesting thing. My thesis is purely on the Coach comeback, and that's it. So you should be asking right now, but Chris, the stock is up quite a bit over the past 9 months. Is that because the market has already appreciated the Coach comeback? I'm going to tell you absolutely not. It has nothing to do with the Coach comeback. Wall Street has not seen the Coach comeback yet. It hasn't materialized in their earnings yet. The reason why the stock is up is because of China. China has been doing exceptionally well for them, and obviously they're a rebound stock anyway, but China is doing exceptionally well for them. But this is a different thesis. This is a thesis that I believe is not yet appreciated and will be an overlay on the China story, which, by the way, the China story is actually the biggest risk. The China story is why I'm not investing $6 million and I'm only investing $3 million. We'll get to that in a minute. So even though the China is why the stock has been doing so well, we'll get to why that might be the biggest risk factor going into Tapestry earnings next week. So Dave, go ahead. Tell us what you think.
I just think with China, okay, with high-end brands, you're going to get that Chinese dollars, or Chinese money. You're going to get their money spent on those products, right? But I'm more into Louis Vuitton because the margin is so much bigger. Coach has to sell a lot more bags to make the same amount of revenue as any of the higher end brands.
But Kate Spade is a higher end brand than Coach, right? I mean, they're not up there
It's
with Louis
not.
Vuitton,
It's
but
not.
they're more attainable. But
their margins are fine. I mean, listen, Coach, you have to understand something. These bags sell for $400, okay, $600. So it's by no means are they like $120 bags. And so they have bags across the spectrum, but again, they're not making. It's much higher volume, right, than like the Louis Vuitton set. And so they are in that sweet spot. If Coach is able to get them if Coach trends the way I think they will continue to trend the next few months to year, the margins are not an issue for them. There are some issues, but that's not the issue. They're still a premium brand. They're not as luxury as a Louis Vuitton, but definitely they're not like a low margin, ubiquitous, commoditized brand at all. And the biggest thing about Coach is that they are moving so much of this D2C. It's all D2C e-com. Their e-com is on fire right now. As you can tell, Dave, all those box opening videos, they're almost all like digital. So they're getting full margin on those right from e-commerce, and those are fat margin direct sales, okay, that are happening around the world. They have spent a tremendous amount of time as a company moving all their stuff to D2C, growing their e-com division. They're really data-centric. They spent a tremendous amount of time understanding data, how to reactivate direct customer relationships. They're doing all the right things, all the things that we're seeing at brands like Crocs and stuff. Like they spent the last year and a half revamping all of that. So that's a fundamental story that I don't really pay much attention to. My thesis is singular. It's the Coach comeback. It's 72% of the company.
The other
the
thing
U.S.
I
is
see
still
about it, and like what de-risks it to me, is that the valuation's there, right? And so like it trades on like a 17 PE, which that's fine. But if you look at forward PE, what they're actually predicting for the next year, it trades at like a 9. So they're way undervalued to their peers. But yeah, I think, we got to go through some of the risk factors too.
Yeah, some of my hedge fund contacts, when I asked them about the stock, just to kind of see how Wall Street was viewing them, they were like, "Yeah, we kind of have our eyes on it, not because of the comeback. They don't look at that stuff, but they're like because we think it could be an undervalued type of play in that sector. So like this is not, even though the stock has come back quite a bit, this is kind of like Tap. By the way, Tapestry, it's kind of cool how it works, right? Tap, and now we're on Tapestry. So, but it's kind of like
By the way, funny that you bring that up because another underrated comment, and I forgot who said it, but they said, "Hey, Will Arnett's trying to pump TAP and trying to trick us into TAP with this Tapestry."
No. Yeah. So this is a company that if they start to kill it and trend, I think there's a lot of room, guys. I think there's a lot of room.
Yes.
So guys, I want to say something. I have read all. I've read all the comments. I went nuts this week, guys. I first tweeted about this the other night. I pulled multiple all-nighters. I think I've seen every single TikTok video about Coach and read every comment on every video. I have been driving all over the city. You know, Jordan, I was on the phone with you the other day. I'm in an outlet mall right now. I've been texting you guys pictures from the outlet malls. I was hanging out in Coach stores with the reps at one store for an hour, just hanging out with the reps, talking shop, just talking about all the products, how they're doing. Like, I went really deep in with research on this, and that's where I have some concerns. I want to talk to you in a minute about that. But getting back to the bull case, the social arb trade here. We have a company that is going through a generational comeback that was completely unexpected by me, and I think most of the market. It is, to a certain extent, a show-me company. Wall Street is not going to be like, oh yeah, Coach, you're going to be this hot millennial Gen Z company again. Nobody's going to believe that until they prove it. Never going to happen, right? You just can't just say you're going to do that, and then Wall Street's going to be like, oh great, we're throwing all of our money into you. No, they're going to sit in the sidelines. They're going to watch. If you could prove to us, and if they are able to prove that Coach is going to be this hot Gen Z global fashion brand, watch out, right? I actually believe that all the signs are there that if they don't screw this up, they have won the hearts and the minds of young female consumers. They have become cool overnight, and the comments prove that. They are legitimately a super cool brand overnight. Okay, with these, do you know how difficult that is for a global brand like this to go from being flat for a decade to cool? And I don't mean cool because of hype or influencers. I mean cool because their products are hype. They are legitimately pumped about these bags, about the designs. They're like they're just falling in love with the new look of Coach. It is fresh. It's like that guy said, it still stays with the history of the brand, but they somehow figure out how to stay with the history of the brand and make it cool for the next generation. And listen, they have such massive distribution. They have such massive reach, right? This is a brand that can crank out goods, okay? They have, their supply chain is 90 years old, right? Like they can take advantage of this.
How's their supply chain doing right now? That's a question that I don't have the answer to.
I do. Risk factor number one, supply chain. So they came out in their last earnings report and disclosed that that was a major risk for them. And in fact, it already started to impact them this last quarter. I believe the impact this quarter is going to be even worse than last quarter. It's a big, big concern. The cost of containers from China has done nothing but go up over the last quarter. That is a major risk factor, major. I can only hope that investors by now have already factored that in. Massive risk factor. The increase in cost of supply from China. Also, the inability to even get products from China. That was one of the conversations I had at the Coach Outlet store. The Coach Outlet store here in Texas had an entire little mini room that was supposed to be stocked with merchandise for men. It was empty, completely empty. And they said we literally, all that merch is just stuck somewhere. We're just waiting for it. So fortunately, it's the merch that would not sell that well anyway, I don't think, because the men Coach for men isn't as big of a deal. But They did say they were getting reasonable shipments of all the other merchandise, so I'm not super concerned about it. But getting the merchandise is going to be a bit of a concern. How much they're paying to get that merchandise is an even bigger concern. But the even bigger concern than that is China. So all this massive growth the last year has come from China, and what's happening right now in China with not just manufacturing, but with everything, supply, retail, cities beginning to theoretically shut down certain areas of China, that could be a major risk for a company like Coach, because that might basically pause their traction in China for a quarter or two. So, and that could
Yeah, look, it's
also
not theoretical. I mean, I was reading an article today from PBS, and it was something like 30 cities are already in some sort of lockdown or another. That's spread to like 34 or like 17 provinces, 30 something cities, and so it's a big concern right now. With and so I think their economists even starting to down, kind of alter down what they were expecting on Chinese growth this year by up to like 0.5%. So it could have a pretty big impact on the economy.
yes, it can.
Oh, and by the way, I was wrong on the PE numbers. I think the forward PE is like 14. The rear-looking PE is like 30, but still undervalued relative to peers. Was the point?
Listen, China's a big risk here, guys. Really, really big risk factor. God, I said I had 5 major. I should start writing stuff down because there were a couple other big.
I thought for sure you did write them down.
What was that comment that you just popped up on the screen? What did that say?
This one says that although I believe Coach has a specific customer base, still this one is risky, one that I'm not sure about, don't entirely agree or disagree with the thesis.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I was in the store, and I was inquiring about their customer base, their demographics, and every single rep I spoke to told me they never even heard of the Coach comeback, but they're like, that is so funny because that's exactly what's happening. They're like, our demographic is getting younger. They're like a couple of years ago, the people that were shopping here, they were like older, and now those people are starting to come in and they're kind of complaining a little bit because our stuff is so different and fresh. But the demographic is skewed younger. They're getting new customers coming in. Listen, bottom line, the demographic is expanding massively. You cannot deny the impact of social media and TikTok and virality with all of these videos. It's becoming a cool brand. And where things used to take a while to spread because of social media, and in particular TikTok, that is condensed now. Because the second something gets hot and exciting and girls start loving it and commenting about it and sharing it, within a matter of weeks, it explodes globally. So that purse is gone. It is done. It is completely sold out. That purse that sold out is coming back this fall. And everyone was like, yeah, we're just waiting for it to come back because we know the second it hits the shelves, it's going to sell out massively again. And it's not a limited time, limited release product. They massively manufacture that purse, and it has an effect on all the purses there. Because I was like, what's the best-selling thing here? And they're like, well, that's doing well. That's doing well. That's doing well. Like, there's so many things that are doing well because of the new designer. He's just has a really fresh take on design, and he has just nailed it. And if you start to watch these Coach videos, it's not just one bag. There are girls falling in love with all kinds of Coach styles. They have this little mini bag, guys. They sell for $50. When I say mini bag, it is literally this big. They sell it at the outlet with a chain on it. It probably costs $8 to make, okay? They sell it for $50, and you could put some credit cards in it. And they're like, yeah, we just can't even keep them in stock. It's like it went viral on TikTok as well. And they're like, girls love it because they go out to a bar or whatever, and they like put it around their head, and it's no weight. They put some cash and their credit cards in it. And I guess Louis Vuitton or Gucci or one of the super premium luxury good manufacturers had a really hype version of that, but it cost like a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know, $1,000, right? So they basically made their own at 50, and theirs looks killer. And now that the brand has a cool cachet to it, it's actually cool to have the Coach version, right?
Do they sell this mini one in the regular stores, or is that just something at the outlet?
So here's what's really fascinating.
I'm not finding it, just browsing their website.
No,
and searching low to high.
Here's what's really fascinating, Dave, if you look at the web traffic for Coach, the web traffic for Coach Outlet, and I know you can't see this because I did this on my subscription web monitoring platform that I'm subscribed to, it is actually higher. I think it's like 2 to 3x or something crazy like that higher for people visiting coachoutlet.com than coach.com. Coach Outlet is not what you think it is. The Coach Outlet store is actually as beautiful, if not even more beautiful, than the Coach store. So what I learned was that the Coach store, the main Coach merch, is taken with top 5% grain leather, meaning they use the top 5% of the leather quality to make those purchases, to make those purses. At the Coach Outlet, they use top 10%. So it's still really good, but it's just not at the same level, right? It's just not the same level. But they only charge half as much. But I'm telling you, that store was packed when I went in there. And I went in there on what, a Tuesday afternoon? Or like a Wednesday afternoon? And the Coach Outlet store was packed and people were buying stuff. It was quite impressive. How beautiful the store was and how beautiful the merchandise was at this Coach Outlet. So it's just a whole different world than the regular Coach store. I think they're both crushing it. Because when I read comments about Coach Outlet purses versus Coach purses, they seem to be doing equally as well. But the outlet traffic alone, if you do a search, Dave, for outlet mall, just on Google Trends, and we could see the recovery in outlet malls. I have been to multiple outlet malls this week, and I am telling you, outlet malls are crushing it right now. It's been a long time since the outlet mall. Look, I mean, is that global or what is that?
This
outlet?
is US 5 years outlet mall.
Outlet mall. So outlet mall, and then when does it normally peak, Dave? When are those peaks normally happening?
The peaks
holiday, right?
Well, it's not
Holiday,
all
all holiday.
quite fast, close enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it
November,
has to be.
December.
Yep.
All right, so why don't you look at the summer peak for each year? Summer peaks.
May,
2000.
June, July. It's this kind of ramp up period.
Yep, and then we didn't have it last year, right? But this year, we're getting back to the normal summer peak at outlet malls. So people are back at outlet malls. And I even talked to a bunch of the outlet mall reps, not at Coach. I was like, what stores are people shopping at? And like Coach was one of a few that everyone said, yeah, the Coach store is doing really well. So, by the way, Kate Spade, let's talk about Kate Spade for a second. I did do a bunch of interviews at Kate Spade stores. They are doing okay, not as strong as Coach. They're actually both kind of intermingling styles now that they're owned by the same company, Tapestry. But I saw nothing at Kate Spade that would concern me, meaning they seem to be doing as well as they were doing the last couple quarters. The thing that concerns me, if anything, is China. I just don't have good visibility into what they're going to report with China. I also am concerned that they will restrain themselves from increasing guidance due to the lack of visibility, specifically around China and supply chain. So those are major concerns going into earnings next week. I could only hope that those concerns are fairly well telegraphed at this point to analysts and the investment community so that they would be baked into existing expectations and the price, whereas my thesis on this massive viral Coach comeback is not baked in. So that's kind of the thesis.
I just feel
here.
like this story, though, just in Googling the Coach comeback, this is a news story that has been in the fashion blog world since March, April. This is something that was on the Today Show. That's my kind of tipping point for, okay, Wall Street knows about it by the time it's on the Today Show.
No.
And the stock price goes right along with that. You know, they slightly beat margins every time the last 4 quarters, and every time the stock just kind of keeps trucking along in an upward. And at this point, are they overpriced for what, this trend is big. It's making a big comeback, but is it going to have enough of an impact for a stock that has already gone up 120% in a year?
It has not been widely covered or discussed in the investment press or the analyst community. Now, everyone knows that this has been a massive undertaking for Coach, and it was the #1 priority for Coach to revamp their brand. So everything that you're reading, Dave, is yes, The coach I mean, they're trying to do this, right? This is a big deal. It's been going on actually for a year in the works. The success or failure of it at this point is undetermined. Even what I know right now, even with what I know now, you can't say that coach has made a comeback, right? Because we're in the very, very early stages. And in fact, every single store check I did, the first question I ask is, when have you, at what point did you kind of see this starting to happen? And they're like, everything's been happening in the last 6 months, right? It all started in the last 6 months. And the viral bags that sold out, Dave, that was in this quarter, right? That was in this quarter. So it's just starting, and quite honestly, it's difficult to understand the degree to which this will even impact their financials this quarter, because it might not even have a huge impact on their financials. So I'm not even sure that the earnings report next week is going to be a huge crush or a huge beat. For me, this is more of a trade on, if the coach comeback is legit and it works, that is one hell of a massive tailwind for this company. So are they going to discuss it? Are they going to now? Are they now going to make that part of the narrative of their investor call? Will that become part of the subject matter in analyst reports? That coach, the revamp is successful, right? We're going to start to increase our projections for 2022 based on the fact that coach is now a hot brand. That has not happened yet on Wall Street. So that is the thesis. Will it play out this quarter? I just don't know, because the numbers might not be there yet this quarter, right? But I do think anytime you have something this massive happening to a brand that is 72% of revenue for a company, I have to put my chips in that game, right? I have to do it. It certainly has not been telegraphed widely in the investment community, even though, yes, you can start to see it in the fashion press. And yes, we certainly are starting to see it across TikTok. But if we learn anything over the past 10 years, that doesn't mean anything when it comes to being baked in to Wall Street expectations. So, oh, by the way, Dave, I mean, how much information has there been on Crocs the last 2 years that Wall Street continues to ignore, right? Until it actually happens. Every quarter, they're like, oh my gosh, you did it again? Like, what don't they understand that Crocs are hot? And they've been hot for 2 years, and they keep getting hotter, and they're just totally shocked every quarter when every quarter Wall Street expects the fad of Crocs to completely disappear. And they're just stunned every quarter when it doesn't. I'll be very clear. This is a show me stock. It's been a flat brand, Coach, for 10 years, okay? So it's going to take more than a few fashion articles, right, and some TikTok videos for Wall Street to get on board with a massive brand turnaround that, let's be honest, virtually never is successful, right? Every brand attempts this. Every dead brand attempts this. Very few succeed at this scale.
They've had a lot of ups and downs. This is the chart going back to the beginning of time in 2001, and they had their big run up and then crash, and then they're up and then down and then up and then down. And this is a dramatic increase that they've had in the past 12 months. That's where I'm saying that the fashion press.
But why?
And
Dave?
the Today Show, by the way, that story ran back in April. So
and Dave, but why has the stock moved up? It has nothing. If you read the last earnings report, the earnings report has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this, right? Everything was about China. The run up, the entire community, all the excitement, all the analyst questions, all the focus on this company is on the massive growth that they're showing in China. So when you see that ramp up is a combination of two things. It's a combination of Tapestry being a recovery trade, and for them crushing their China expansion, which is what the analyst community is focused on. The flat kind of Coach sales in the US, which is a massive part of the revenue, by the way, no one is expecting much. In fact, the highest growth division of Tapestry, what is it? Kate Spade. It's Kate Spade, right? Kate Spade is their highest growth division, believe it or not. Like, that's insane. It's not even Coach. So when we find out, if we find out that their largest division 2/3 of the company is starting to massively grow in existing markets, not just expansion markets, because of a brand recovery, because of a brand turnaround. That is a thesis that I do not believe Wall Street has bought into yet. Right or wrong, that's my trade. That's my thesis, okay? So let poke holes in it. Dave, thank you for poking holes in it. Community, get on Discord. I don't know what our Discord channel, we have I don't know if we have an apparel channel in Discord or if it's just a retail channel in Discord, but let's discuss this one. We have like, what, 5 days to, earnings are next week. I forget which day.
It's on Thursday.
Yeah, let's poke holes in this. Let's do some store interviews. I want to broaden the, perspective of this trade. Because if you guys can help me figure out if we're onto something or if we're missing something, that will impact my decision making going into earnings. I might up my trade, or I could pull back from it between now and earnings. And Dave might actually change his mind. If you guys change Dave's mind, let's see if we can change Dave's mind. Jordan, how about you? What are your thoughts? I mean, I've been talking to you about this for a few days. I know you've done your own homework. Like, I know you're a guy that. Listen, man, you love something that has strong fundamentals behind it, right? You love a little value, and now I'm giving you a little social arb hype on top of what is also a value global growth story as well. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll probably buy a little. Maybe just see if there's a dip next week.
Gosh, getting this guy.
Dumb money show dip. I don't like to buy before our shows, so I like to let
Jordan,
get the opportunity, and then I'll.
You can buy before, like I buy obviously before the show. I've been buying for days, but I'm not selling after the show air. Like I'm holding this. My plan is to hold this through earnings, right? My plan is to hold this through earnings. In which case, it really doesn't matter if people today buy or because of the show or not. Don't be a pump and dumper, obviously, but you should not feel bad about buying. You are just over the top. I know you love the community, and you're like, we're gonna talk about this, and then we're gonna let you buy it, and then I'm gonna buy. I mean, you are literally the greatest person in the world, dude. I'm not kidding. I thought I had a high ethical standards, but you are just insane.
So I think just looking at Discord, the place to do it will be in the luxury goods, even though I'd argue that Coach isn't luxury, and they don't have the same margins as the actual European brands. But under the retail section, the luxury goods channel seems to be a good place to talk about this.
Yeah.
And if you're not a member of the Discord community, you should become a member. It is absolutely free to do. You just go to dumbmoney.tv/Discord. That's how you get your invite, and you just go right on in there with your Discord. If you already have a Discord account, just boop boop pop us in there.
I'm going through the through the comments, and I'm just my thing that I put my laptop on broke, Dave. I need to get a new piece for it. So but Lisa Autry, I know she's been I want to know what she thinks about this. Well, I'm going through.
She's been all over the comments.
But what did she say? I'm scrolling up. What is she saying?
Her most recent comment was she noticed a purse on the counter when Jeremy was talking on his video at Blake. So she's replying to someone else who's in the comments. Got to scroll up. I mean, this is.
Wait, is Jeremy covering this? Did he talk about this as a? Or was he just? Okay, so listen, we all know the risk factors, and there are some really big risk factors around China and supply chain and massive increase in cost getting products to the U.S. Guys, this has been killing so many companies. Like this, Funko, it impacted Funko even on their earnings call. It's impacting almost every single company on earnings, and it scares the hell out of me. It really, really does. By the way, people are asking about Posh. I no longer own Posh, guys. I like Posh, but I didn't see a whole lot of social arb in Posh the last 30, 45 days. So I sold my Posh position. I think I talked about it. I don't know, it was on Twitter. With Piton gains. So we talked about it on the show here. I don't think I own any Posh right now. People want to ask about Spin Master. Guys, I'm still in Spin Master pretty big. Paw Patrol is coming out in the UK theaters here. What I don't like about this trade now is that, the D variant could be suppressing families from going out and seeing movies in the theater. I kind of hate that. But then again, is it really going to matter? Because as long as they release it direct to home, families are all going to watch Paw Patrol at home. And they'll probably I'm not sure it really matters too much. But I am looking forward to seeing how the Paw Patrol movie does. I wish we didn't have D variant. D variant has been a big bummer for Dumb Money all summer long. It was just it just has had an impact on all kinds of trades of ours. Hasn't necessarily destroyed them, but it certainly has had an impact. A negative
But it hasn't
impact
had
on
the
some
same
of
kind of impact it did when we had the original variant. I don't know if there's a name for the original variant as a variant, but
No.
but that caused such big swings in the market. We were able to play both sides. This is harder to read because we don't see a big shutdown coming, but we also see less, okay, well, we're going to slow down the number of people going to movie theaters, or people may just stop altogether and AMC may crash. But then we have Reddit, who is causing AMC to go to the moon and back down to earth. Which, by the way, my options that I've been I own some shares that were put to me when I had some options expire, and I've just been writing covered calls every week, sometimes twice a week. My cost basis on that is like below negative, and so it's just like free money. I'm just printing free money off the volatility in AMC.
By the way, I do want to talk about meme stocks for a minute, but Albin asks, hey Chris, any fear that TPR could be a QSR disaster? QSR is our trade a couple of years ago that did not work out well on not KFC, Tim Hortons, Burger King, and Popeyes.
It was Popeyes that we were playing the Popeyes chicken sandwich, which was huge, but we didn't factor in how disappointing Tim Horton might be.
Yeah, Burger King. But no, that was a whole different trade. The reason why that trade didn't go well is because I had a lot of options. I do have some options on this trade, but I mostly have equity. So listen, if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to get crushed on this one at all. Not concerned, but I am concerned about China. Listen, there is a component of this trade that we have limited visibility to, and what we always say is that when you have a social arb thesis, one of the steps in the process, if you've read Laughing at Wall Street or Jack Schwager's Market Wizards, Unknown Market Wizards, where he has a chapter about social arb and us and what we do, you'll know that one of the steps in the process is to identify other things that are happening at the company within your trade window that have the ability to be even more impactful, okay, than the thesis that you're trading. And this is one of those times when there is something happening at the company, China, and supply chain, that is more important in the short term than this coach turnaround. So yes, I'm very concerned about that.
And this is where all the eyeballs will be during the earnings call too.
Jordan, you're right. So yeah, that's why my trade is half the size of what it would be. That's why I do not own any out of the money options on this trade. Not that I do much of that anyway these days, but those are the reasons why. I'm approaching this relatively cautiously because of that. I wish that wasn't the case. If that didn't exist, if D variant, I hate you, D variant. If D variant didn't exist, I would be so all in on this trade. It would be high conviction. I would have so much more enthusiasm on today's episode, and I wouldn't be able to really control myself. Dave, I probably would have done this episode without you when you couldn't do it 2 days ago because I just couldn't hold it in. But no, because of D variant, we have to disclose those risk factors, and it's meaningful. It's real. I'm still looking forward to earnings next week. There's no way I'm not going to trade this. I love the thesis. I just hope China doesn't crush us. You know, one interesting way to trade stuff like this is to have a long short strategy and to have an equal size trade on a competing brand that would also be impacted by those issues, but that doesn't have the strong tailwind that I believe Coach has with this brand turnaround. Maybe Coors or someone like that.
Yeah. So speaking of D variants, people are asking, are you still holding your Moderna stock?
So I sold it 2 days ago.
Oh, did you say that already? Someone commented you sold Moderna?
I sold it 2 days ago, and I talked about it on Twitter, or maybe it was through a reply on Twitter. or maybe as a private message. Sometimes I will DM people. I'm sorry if I didn't. Yeah, so I'm done. I'm out of Moderna. What a trade! What a trade! Dude, you know how risky that trade seemed buying that at the high like a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
But man, that thesis just crushed, right? We were like, hey, D variant is the thing. Who is like guaranteed to win over a multi-day to multi-week period as D variant news story? Like Moderna, it was the obvious winner, right? It was the obvious winner. I'm out of the trade. It was really nice.
Didn't we see the CDC have some news today about at-risk people getting a third shot of the current vaccines?
Yeah. Moderna's not
today?
moving on that news, really. I think, Dave, the reason why I sold it is because I feel that even though with the positive news like that continue to come out, I feel that we're about to enter a phase where D variant news is going to switch. Because it's already switching in the UK, right? So what did I say on that episode, on the D variant episode? If you go back and watch our D variant episode, we had said the number one thing to look at is that chart. You can Google it, UK COVID. And the second that spike starts to fall apart, meaningfully fall apart, that is a sign that we could now trust that will happen in every other part of the world. Now, it could take a few months for it to happen, but Wall Street will start to, they will front run that story, right? So I feel that we're getting at a point, we're nowhere near the peak, but we're close enough to it.
I mean, I don't know. Look, have you Googled that lately? Because it's starting to tick. UK is ticking back up.
Okay, so that's something to keep an eye on. But for now, like I sold Moderna a few days ago, right? But for now, if it starts to tick back up, Jordan, then that's an adjustment that we'll have to make, right? And all of a sudden, Moderna could get really interesting again, and we'll have to ease off the recovery play. I am ready to pull the trigger on recovery plays and get back into them, assuming that we continue to gain confidence that D variant is something that will go away. Listen, Jordan, I mean, don't you think that has something to do with school being back? So they're going to have they have the fall off, and then school is back.
Well, so
or school back
right?
there?
So school's back, that's one thing. And the other thing is that they officially reopened the economy, right?
Yes. Yeah, they did. They officially reopened.
So,
So meanwhile over here, we're just going nuts reopening everything. So I'm hoping our D variant spike is going to be a single spike that maybe lasts a little longer than the UK spike. But then once it comes down, it comes down. So, and I think at that point, we will likely see an additional boost in all of the recovery stocks. And I think that will be a bit of a sell-off period for stocks like Moderna, at least in the short term. So I'm out of Moderna for now. What else? Oh, we had Airbnb. I didn't pay any attention to Airbnb earnings. I have Airbnb stock. I just don't have time. Listen, I'm pretty deep on this trade research, so I have a lot going on, and I just haven't even read the earnings report. So sorry about that. Can't comment on it. But I have my Airbnb. I didn't sell it.
Yeah, I'm hanging on to my Airbnb as well.
Someone said, "How are the Chris shorts working?" What am I? Am I shorting something? Should I check?
You did, but it was like a month ago.
Guys, I'm out. Whatever I was shorting, I think
you were shorting maybe Wayfair.
Oh, I'm out of that. I got out of that. Thank goodness I got out of that. Yeah. I don't think I'm shorting anything right now. I mean, I'll double check, but I don't believe I am. No. By the way, I haven't checked Hood in a few days. Is Hood still hanging in there?
Yeah. I don't know. It was down yesterday, but I'm not even going to look at it.
I know, right?
For months. But we did get an email, by the way. I think we've got some early shares that might pop through. There was an email from that plan administrator that you should look at.
I need to know that because I'm going to sell half my Hood position.
Yeah.
Zev! Yes! Lightning Motors!
That thing was up 70% in one day.
Woo!
It was crazy.
So you know how hard it was for me to hold on, and listen, it's come down since then. It's come down a little bit, but it's still strong. One of the things that's been really tough for me this year is to continue to reevaluate my EV thesis on commercial trucking, EV and EV supply chain, lithium, and continue to reevaluate that and stay with that trade, because when I'm reevaluating it, there's nothing that I see in that trade that's changing my thesis, my long-term thesis. I still believe the thesis is exceptionally strong, not as a short-term social arb play, and that's what people have to understand. That was never a short-term trade. We talked about this many times. That was one of these really long play social arb trades, meaning it could take years for it to fully play out. But I believe the commercial EV sector and the EV supply chain sector is a favorite of mine for long-term. I have not, for the most part. I had to sell some parts of some of those positions because I was over
The only thing I
leveraged.
sold was CCIV, and I told you the second that I did it.
I was out of that. I was out of that. What did I sell that at the peak? Almost all of it at the peak. I got so lucky on that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
lucky.
I sold like maybe
on
a
that.
couple dollars from the peak, but yeah, I mean, I got super lucky.
So this is not about
everything else. I have not gotten lucky on because I am literally getting crushed still.
Oh, I've got Jordan. If I could just erase all of my commercial EV trades this year, my account would be through the. I mean, I'm still doing great for the year, but that really was crushing for me.
Yeah, LAC, ZEV, what
all the
ones,
the bus ox. I still like them. I still like lithium has really crushed me. That was one of my largest.
LAC, that one's not great.
LAC, I don't even know. I'm down I feel like I'm down 7 figures.
It's actually started to cruise up a little bit. It's still not
Dave,
back to.
Dave just disappeared. We got a text from Dave. Camera battery died. I'm still watching and can end show whenever you are ready, dude. Dave. Oh my God.
We'll just walk out of the room and then Dave.
That is so not like Dave to have a camera battery die. Like, how does Dave? First of all, how does he not have backup batteries, and how is he using a camera battery versus a plug-in for? I thought his mobile set was ready to go with plugins, but. All right, Dave. So this is fun. Let's talk crap about Dave, and he can't do anything about it. Like, say he said, end the episode. If you see this, just stop. If you see this, just stop. You know what I love is that Dave is like, Dave goes on vacation. Dave goes on vacation. And he's like rubbing it everywhere. He's like, I'm summering in Maine, and like he won't respond to any text of our group because we have like a group text chain.
No, he does respond. It's just like he'll one response a day or something.
He checks out. He like completely checks out, which I have so much respect for. He's living. Is he in his van up there? I think he's in his van.
No, he's got like an Airbnb or something.
Okay, but like,
I bet
here's the thing.
I bet he's actually got a VRBO.
Yeah, I bet he has an Airbnb. Not true. But here's the thing. Like, it's not like he's doing a European tour where he's like going back. He's in Maine. Like, how much stuff could you be doing in Maine all day with his significant other, where he's just too busy to even react to anything that we do during the day? But I do respect that he knows. I'm in Bar Harbor. Okay. But I do respect that Dave is a guy that knows how to vacation. He really does. He knows how to vacation, or summer as he calls it, right? So, whew. All right, Jordan, what else? What else do we need? Guys, any other questions? I want to cut this episode off because our super long episodes, no one wants to watch an episode when it's like an hour and 30 minutes long, and we have to get better.
We're an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah, we need to cut this in like a couple minutes, guys. Oh yes, okay. Researching any Botox trades, Chris? Yes, dude. We're researching so many social arb trades. Do you guys see my tweet at Chris Camillo? If you're not following me, please follow me at Chris Camillo. My tweet on the Brazilian butt lift trend. Thank you, Laura Casey, one of our ticker tags OGs, the original OG social arb crew from ticker tags. She brought that to my attention. The Brazilian butt lift is trending so hard. I feel like we might need to do a show next week on Brazilian butt lift trades because there are some, and thanks to the community for actually researching those trades for us.
Oh, I've got an anonymous tip that came in, and Coach is not 60%.
72, I thought. 72.
82.
I think it's 72. Is it 80?
82. Well, I got, like I said, I got anonymous numbers.
Yeah.
82%. Kate Spade, 13.7%. So.
Okay. Well, perhaps. Listen, I saw that. I thought it was in the 70s. It to me doesn't matter if it's the 70s or 80. It's the majority of the company, so I'm really comfortable focusing on Coach and not being overly concerned about the other two brands, which, by the way, are growing really well in China where it counts. There it is.
Thanks, Dave.
That's Dave. Thank you, Dave. Dude. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna do a show on butts next week, but we're also going to do a show. And I know that you guys don't always love us, but we are going to do another NFT show. We might do it on a weekend. So if you haven't subscribed and hit that notification bell, because sometimes we do weird stuff, we'll do a show at night, we'll do a show on a weekend, and you won't know if you don't have the notification bell hit. So please do that. Guys, please like this episode. It means the world to us. It doesn't, we don't sell anything here. We don't have a course. We don't have a paid Discord. We don't do any of that stuff. We have some really cool merch, but it's all sold at cost. All we ever ask for is to like it. Why do we care? Well, because we want to own the world. Now, listen, we love having a small community, but we want to continue to grow that community because it's the only way that we will bring more people into the investor class, which, if you watch this show, you know is what we're all about, reducing the wealth gap by increasing the investor class. And we want to get our message out there. We want more people to come into the community. So please, thumbs up. Means the world to us. Jordan, you have anything else? We should probably go because Dave's getting annoyed that our episode's
I've got lunch waiting for me is what I've got.
Okay. Piton. Okay, Piton earnings are next week. I hedged my Piton position for next week.
I'm a Piton never hedger.
Okay, I hedged it partially, not fully, partially, okay? So I'm partially hedged on Piton. I think they're next week. I could be wrong. Next week or the week after. Partially hedged. We're going to do a show on NFTs because I made my biggest NFT purchase ever, and I'm really pumped about it, and I think it's something that, Jordan, I know you're not going to buy into it, but Dave might, and I want to share it with you guys. I want to share why I bought this NFT.
What are we buying into?
What? The NFT I bought.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm so disappointed. You buy all the things that I hate. NFTs, Fords. I mean, it's out of control.
Dude, Dave, can you show that picture I sent you and Jordan on my new car right now? Can you show my new? Last year, one of my big trades was on the Ford Bronco release announcement. I said if I made enough money to buy a Ford Bronco, I'd buy one. I made enough money to buy 6 Ford Broncos, and so I finally did it. I pulled the trigger last night. One was available at the dealership. There it is.
Hey, I got seduced into buying the Ford at one point in my life. Once. Once. I will never buy another Ford product.
Dude, it's a good... Listen, I like the big body Broncos from the 90s. That's not what this is. It's not the Ford Bronco I wanted. It's the Ford Bronco I got, and I still love it. It's the funnest car in the world to drive. It is so fun to drive, guys. I had my kids in it last night. We're cruising around the neighborhood, top down. Dude, this car rocks. I really love it.
The biggest problem with it, though, is you're just going to park it outside for the next 7 years, and it's going to look like garbage.
It's going to look like junk. You know what I did in my car. I went to trade... Oh, get this story, guys. Before we leave, we'll end the episode in a minute. This is such a great story. So I'm under pressure to make a decision. They were like, if you want... We have one available. The customer didn't pick it up. Tell us right now if you want it. Otherwise, we're going to the next customer. I'm like, I got to test drive it. I'm on the test drive, right? And the guy's like, yeah, we got to know right away if you want it or not. So no big deal. We stop at a Wells Fargo during our test drive so I can get a cashier's check to buy it. And literally the car salesman was texting the GM of the dealership, getting him to tally the total for me so I can get a cashier's check made out for that amount. We stop at a Wells Fargo. I don't have my driver's license on me. So then I have to drive home in the test drive, get my driver's license, get back to the Wells Fargo 5 minutes before it closes to get a cashier's check, and I buy that car last night. Dude, I absolutely love it, man. That's the new Dumb Money car, dude. When we start doing our vlogs,
I do think they look nice. So I will give you that. I think they look nice.
Jordan, they
I
drive.
wouldn't buy it, but I think it looks great.
The pictures don't show that well, but
I have seen one in person. I've seen one in person, and I was impressed. I thought it looked good.
with the top down, it is so cool with the top down. And here's the thing that I really love about it. It drives so well. It is so fun and so comfortable. It's just ridiculous. The heated seats are amazing. I need that for my lower back. Super hot heated seats. The actual seats themselves are really nice. That's all I cared about. Because, like, I just love, like, with my lower back, I have to have a good seat. Seats are amazing. Stereo is amazing. The in-dash screen, have the extra large one, is beautiful. The way the controls work are amazing. I'm kind of old school, so I like big knobs, and they gave you the big knobs on the stereo and stuff, so you have all that.
I hate it when everything is done through the screen. You need tactile knobs and buttons for things like that. I think it's a safety issue, really.
Dude, Jordan, screens. I'm with you, man, and they did a really good job with all that stuff. Yeah. What else do I absolutely love about? There were a few other things that I was like kind of blown away how good of a job and how well thought out they were on this truck. It's a fun, dude. You got to come check it out, Jordan. If you can get down here in the next few weeks, dude. It's awesome. And Getty texted me the second I was texting Getty. He loves it.
Getty bailed on his though. He's not going to get it.
What? He's not going to get it?
No, he told you that. He's like, he pulled the chute. He's not going to do it.
Oh, because it's going to take a year.
Manufacturing problems with the hard top. Or
yeah, I know, because he doesn't want to wait for it, and I understand that. I get it. By the way, guys, I cannot own an electric car right now because I park on the street, so I have no way to charge it. So someday I will get an electric car. I would get the electric.
You can buy a really long cable, Chris. It's like a tripping hazard.
I could. No, listen, one of the guys who I have almost more respect for than any investor in the entire world, he's one of the best investors that has ever lived. His returns last year, he won't let me talk about him on the show, but oh my gosh, the money he made last year, it's insane. He ripped on me a little bit. He DM'd me this morning. He's like, Chris, I can't believe you didn't buy an EV car. And like, you're setting a bad example. And I'm like, dude, I can't. It's parks on the street. I have no way to charge it, but I promise as soon as I can, I'll get an EV car. Also, I only drive 6,000 miles a year. So like, I don't put out that many emissions. Anyway, we got to end the show. I'm sorry, we're rambling. We love you guys.
Rambling.
We have so many good Social Arb shows. I hope you enjoyed this one. So many good shows coming up, man. I'm so pumped to be done with the summer, to be back researching Social Arb, back with the community. I love every single one of you. Please help us rip apart today's thesis in the dumbmoney.tv/Discord channel. And please subscribe. We are back. Dumb Money Social Arb is back. Have an awesome week. We'll see you next week. Dave, enjoy your summering in Maine or wherever you are.
Oh yeah, I forgot Dave is still listening.
Yeah, get a backup battery. For once, I get to rip Dave for doing.
I thought we all had plug-ins for the battery. Like mine just plugs into the wall.
Yeah, but Dave has that mobile contraption he travels with, and it's like it pops out, and he has a whole mobile studio.
Yeah, but you could still have a cord. Like you just.
Yeah, I thought he said he had a cord. I don't understand. All right, Dave, time to end the episode. You can end it now.
He's not going to see that for at least like 5 or 6 seconds. So,
he's not? Okay, fine. All right, goodbye. All right, later. I'm just going to hit the X and just X out. I don't know what's going to happen.
Are you just going to bail? You can't just leave me here all alone.
Why can't you just want to just black screen? I mean, we got to just...
No, it might do like the little vertical, like the color bars,
Well, I feel like we just need...
Oh my god. Quit doing that, Dave. It keeps happening. Is this really happening? I don't know. I'm gonna turn my camera off, Dave. I'm gonna do it.